What's up guys, my name is Carter.
And I'm Cru, and we're the co-founders of SETBAR, which is a nutrition bar company we started in Raleigh, North Carolina.
SETBAR is an all-organic, vegan, gluten-free, and non-GMO nutrition bar that contains no dairy, soy, or refined sugars.
And they actually taste good.
This is Behind the Bar. 3, 2, 1. What's up guys?
Dude, I can't. Okay, I need to breathe.
Are you ready?
Oh God.
When do we have that meeting?
9:30.
So this series serves to document our process from a very small company into something much larger. We're taking you from the ground floor up to as high as we can possibly go.
Yeah, so our main goal with this is to give you guys a true representation and point of view as to, what goes on inside of our business, whether it's making bars all the way to dealing with somebody in a wholesale account at a big chain store or something. For example, we are on our way right now to get our bars into a new store in the middle of filming this video.
Yeah.
So we definitely hope to give you guys something that's a bit more in-depth compared to, a lot of businesses that, show you maybe how they make their product or something along those lines, but we want to really represent, how we are going about that and learning as we go as well.
Yeah, and also I know there's a lot of you probably watching who are either small business owners or people interested in starting a business, maybe even some larger business owners, or even just people looking to be entertained. These of course are all things that we want to provide for you guys. We do want to be educational and take you through our journey. Of course, we're not trying to glamour anything up and make it look like we're either like super successful when we're not, or we're just doing things that, we're so much better than you, because it's really just not the case.
And it's going to be really weird to show this far in depth on our company's main channels like Instagram and YouTube, but we think it'll be a really great insight into the real meaning behind the bar.
We're two 19-year-old guys who are trying to make it in this world, start a business, and do something good with the product that we create. So SETBAR's journey started back in September 15th, 2018, when we were both seniors in high school.
Being in our last year of high school, we were extremely tired of it, and in finding this new thing that was really starting to become something important in our lives, we wanted to work on it full time, because the contrast between sitting in school all day and actually building a brand that has a lot of meaning to us was a pretty big one.
So the way our schedule was set up was dual enrollment, meaning that we would have class at high school until 10:30, and then we would go to college for the rest of the day.
For us, however, we got all online classes, so after 10:30, when we were supposed to be in college, we were actually working on building our brand.
So a question that Cru and I get asked a lot is, how did we come up with the recipe for SETBAR? And it's actually pretty simple. Cru and I went down to our local Whole Foods, and we picked up a bunch of ingredients that were good by themselves, but we combined them to make a powerhouse of nutrition. And in fact, when we made the first version of the bar, we came pretty close to what it is right now. The only difference was it was a little gooier, and there was some textural differences that we didn't like with it. But about 3 or 4 tries later, we got to the bar that you guys know and love. Even from day one, we knew that we wanted to vlog our progress and show people what it was like to start a small business from just an idea. Unfortunately, we got caught up in the progress that we were making, just a bunch of stuff that we were doing and not really focusing on recording. We always thought that it was kind of cheesy and that it was never really going to work out. Not the business, the videos. So we filmed every now and again, and we tried to take a couple videos, but...
Yo, first try!
Second try.
Here at SETBAR, we like to start things off with a bang. This is day one of business documentation.
Making the final, hopefully perfected recipe. This is our first big order, $50. And we're just getting way too much in our heads. So the next things that we want to accomplish are getting certified in all 4 of our major certifications. That is organic, non-GMO, gluten-free, and vegan. In order to get those certifications, we need to have a certifiable kitchen. We've been in contact with some people about renting out their kitchen space for a while, Still hasn't come into play yet, however, we are hoping to get in there soon. So, as I mentioned earlier, SETBAR needs certifications. I've been working on that process for about 2 or 3 months, and that's just paperwork alone. There's a lot of paperwork for the organic certification, and I mean, I'm talking like pages and folders and a bunch of worksheets with folders in the pages. It took me a really long time, not only because it's a lot of paperwork, but it's also a lot of things that I don't understand that I have to try and figure out myself, teach myself, and it's an overall struggle because I mean, there's not many people that you can go to when it's just me and Cru, and I mean, any one of our peers wouldn't really know how to go about filling out an organic application.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of information on their website about what a certifier is going to be looking for when they come to audit our facility. But it's really just a bunch of very confusing language that we have no idea what it means. So we're going into this super blind, and it's hard to know what to expect, what to prepare for, and how to really be ready for that point in time. So
yeah, especially since we read on the website that the auditor is not allowed to help you out if there's something wrong with your operation, meaning that he could dock us points for something and we don't really know what it is. So it's a little scary going into it. I mean, and also another major hurdle for that is money. Looking at the calculations for all of our applications, I'm just gonna list them out. We're looking at $1,500 for organic. We're looking at around $1,500 for non-GMO. We're looking at $250 or so for vegan, and we're looking at close to $3,000 for gluten-free. Honestly, all the paperwork for gluten-free and vegan and non-GMO have been much simpler than the organic application. The organic application that I filled out was so incredibly in-depth. I think it just got me mentally ready to deal with all the other certifications.
right.
But that doesn't mean that they are not still also very confusing and very difficult, and you still have to wait on emailing people. Even if you do everything right, the day that you get the paperwork, you could still be waiting for weeks because someone hasn't contacted you back.
So the reason that we even found out about all these certifications that we need started with a situation that we were actually on our way to get our bars into Whole Foods. Now, assuming most of you know what Whole Foods is, that would be the top store that we would want to be selling our bars in. So very early on, and I think our second or third location that we were selling in, the owner of this place gave me a contact over at Whole Foods in Cary, North Carolina. She gave me his email, and I sent this huge long email, really articulate about everything, and told him all about the brand and how I'd love to meet up. And he just responded to me, which in the first place, I didn't even expect a response at all. But he just responded, and he was like, "Hey Cru, how's Tuesday?" And I was like, yeah. And I mean, I went into a little more detail than yeah, but I responded to him. So a couple weeks later, I met up with him, sat down face to face in the Whole Foods, brought him a sample, brought him some information, and he opened it up, ate it right there, and he loved it. He had the guy that kind of handles more inventory stuff also tried it and really liked it. So while we were sitting down at that meeting, he actually called whoever was above him in corporate for Whole Foods and was like, "Hey, I've got this local nutrition bar, and I want to get it in the store." And in my head, I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Like, this is exactly how I wanted this to go. This is too good to be true." Might have been. So he basically told us that they had a region-wide meeting that he would be presenting the bars at. We were so excited. I kept updated with him and everything. So from that point, we got in contact with the corporate person that would be handling getting the bars in the store. And we spoke about the new item addition stuff, so went through all the paperwork, all this really difficult stuff that we won't get into. We then got invited to the South Summit, which is a gathering of all the local suppliers for Whole Foods in the southern region to, learn about new updates with Whole Foods and that sort of thing. So we drove to, what was it, South Carolina?
Yeah,
South Carolina. Stayed overnight, woke up the next day and went to this big summit. We were meeting a bunch of people, networking, learning about all the different things of what it's like to be a vendor for Whole Foods. Long story short, we went into the breakdown for potential suppliers, which was us, and they set a line that basically killed us, which was no claims without substantiation. What that means is that if you claim something for your product, for example, organic, vegan, gluten-free, non-GMO, dairy-free, soy-free, free refined sugars, it has to be certified by a third party or whatever that may be. So knowing that this probably cost thousands of dollars and a ton of, hassle that we had no idea about, we were pretty much just destroyed at that point. It was such a great experience, and then once we learned about all these hoops we had to jump through until we would actually be able to be at the point of selling in Whole Foods, it was like very devastating and a very long drive home from South Carolina. Basically from that point on, we've been researching and trying to dominate the local game, just getting into as many local places as we can to get our sales up and to prepare for getting these certifications done. So now that we're almost on the other side of that huge hurdle and a really big obstacle to our company, it's really exciting because it opens up endless opportunities for us.
Up to this point, Cru and I have encountered a bunch of struggles. Everywhere we turn, something has to go wrong. It's always either money, lack of time, and there's also a huge learning curve on everything that we do because we have to teach ourselves.
Yeah, there's not a bunch of resources out there that we can just be like, hey, how do you do this? So it's pretty much just our responsibility to go find out how to do these different things. So one of the biggest problems we've run into was our packaging and boxes situation. So whenever we had the bar recipe finalized, we knew that we just had to get packages on them so we could actually have them be presentable in stores. So we looked around, and pretty much every US company is very expensive and way out of the budget that we were at the time. So I thought to go on Alibaba, which is basically a Amazon for finding a manufacturer, to explain it most simply. So I found a Chinese manufacturer that was able to make the packages for us, and we went through so many steps from design and pretty much trying to translate that to them, because the lady we were dealing with, she spoke English, but some things were still really hard to kind of get across, especially just through messaging on WhatsApp or whatever. So we got that all taken care of, and another thing we didn't know was what size we should make the packages for the bar. So we knew the size of the bar, obviously, and so we actually put it in their hands and said, what size would you recommend for this size of bar? So they recommended it. We went through with the order. I think it was about $1,000 for 20,000 packages. And so we just waited about a month for them to get in. There was just so much anticipation, and we got them in. And they were about half an inch bigger than the bar itself, which left pretty much no space to seal each side of the package. So that was a few months in the making of just a complete fail. Thankfully, they agreed to actually redo them because it was their mistake, which was great. And one thing that we are extremely thankful for in that situation is that when we ordered the first round of packages, we didn't know that you had to get a barcode through a specific company. We thought you could just do a barcode generator on a website on Google, and that is 100% not the case whatsoever. So we caught that mistake before they started the second round, paid more money for that, of course, but got that sorted out, and then got the correct barcode system on the new packages, which pretty much just saved our life. So from there, we got the next round in, They were fine. We were able to seal them. They're presentable. They're the ones that we have right now, actually. So that was totally fine. The next step after that was getting boxes, so we could actually have them selling in bigger stores and have display boxes for retail, home sale, that sort of thing. So when I was looking for this, I didn't even think to reach out to our initial supplier. And while we were looking for boxes, she actually reached out to me to ask how things were going. And I was like, whoa, we actually need to get boxes done. Long story short, she said they could do it. Went through weeks, months of trying to perfect the design and everything, get it over to them, get the right templates, all this crazy stuff, and we got them made. And it took, again, months for the whole process to go through, super long time for shipping. Shipping was very expensive, and we got them in. I go to open the box, I'm super excited, and I opened one up, and when I looked at it, I was like, oh, this is great, like this is kind of exactly what we wanted. And then we realized that they were totally glossy, which I asked for a matte finish, and when they shipped them, they were all bent up and just really not presentable to put in a store, which was a huge issue for us. And you know, she got angry because she thought we were just picking at stuff. We just wanted our money back, and we eventually agreed on getting half of our money back for them sending a really not great product to us. So they sent us, what was it, like $500, $600 through PayPal, something like that. And I got the notification on my phone, and I was like, okay, that's fine. We'll just have to go from here. And then I get another notification on my phone that they sent the same amount, and they sent it twice. And I was like, well, they massively took advantage of us and really kind of made things very difficult. So I was like, all right, we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we basically got our money back for the packages that they totally butchered. But yeah, we thankfully had some left over that we were able to use in stores, and we're kind of just trying to save them as much as possible for the ones that aren't bent up and creased from terrible shipping. So,
well, that pretty much covers our story up to this point. Thank you guys for watching. If you would like to check out more about us, which I mean, we pretty much covered it.
yeah.
You can check on our website. You can also purchase a bar in the Raleigh area if you do happen to live here. We do sell at 19 locations. And go to our website and place an order there, and we'd be happy to deliver to you guys.
Yeah, so make sure to like this video, subscribe, because we will be pretty consistently coming out with new videos. We definitely want to stay updated with everything that we're going through, like we mentioned. So yeah, definitely feel free to comment anything that you might want to see specifically that we didn't cover. And thank you for watching.